Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mouse Club podcast. My name is Marissa, and I am the host of this podcast. Welcome. I am so happy that you are here joining us. If you are new, welcome. I hope that you'd like to stick around for future episodes and hit that subscribe button. Why did I just do that voice? But for real, yes, thank you so much for joining me. And if you want to join some more, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and come back because I have a new episode every Wednesday talking about Disney Oh my gosh, I'm a little bit in a weird mood. I'm going to talk about it in a second, guys. But I do different Disney topics, play different Disney games, have different Disney guests, and it's going to be a lot of fun in these coming weeks. So anyway, yes, thank you so much for joining. I hope that you guys are excited about this episode. This week, we're going to be talking about best ways to beat the heat in the theme parks, and I think that this is going to be a really, really fun one. I am a native Floridian, so I have a lot of tips for you all, and I hope that they can help you out in a number of ways. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I'm also going to be reading some of your responses. So like I've said in past episodes, if you would like to participate in future episodes of the Mouse Club podcast, please be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Mouse Club podcast, where I post polls, questions. I'm going to be asking you all for stories and other things of that nature. I also wanted to say that I am looking for guests for future episodes, so I am going to be sending DMs to certain members of my friends who I think would like to be on the podcast. But if you would like to be on the podcast, please DM me and we can set something up. Keep in mind, these are probably going to be like 1 to 2 episodes a month. So if you are DMing me, just keep in mind that it may not be an episode that's going to be coming up very soon. It might be in a couple months or things like that. But if you'd like to participate, let me know. If you are a cast member, that would be great. My goal is to get cast members from all different areas of the parks. I think that would be so cool. And if you are a Disney Instagrammer, or if you're a Disney YouTuber, or if you work in on production, anything like that, even if you're a Disney fan, send me a DM if you'd like to participate in future episodes of the Mouse Club, and it would be really awesome to have you join me. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. Also, if you wanted to leave a rating and review on the Apple Podcast app, I would be happy to give you a shout out in future episodes. So please leave me a little review, and if you do, make sure you leave your Instagram or YouTube or TikTok handle, etc. So anyway, guys, before we get into today's episode, I have some personal news. This has nothing to do with Disney whatsoever, but I'm in a little funky state of mind right now, so I have to tell you all this story. So first off, me and Nala, we posted a video on TikTok and it started to go viral. It's currently sitting at 1.2 million views, which is an insane number to me. So if you would like to check that out, my TikTok is at marissa.potts. So if you would like to if you would like to check that out, that is my handle. And I'm going to be posting some other like Disney inspired ones and a lot of ones with my dog. So if you want to check that out, I'm having a lot of fun over there. So yeah, that's really cool that we hit that many views. I was so shook when that happened. I was so confused. Also, on Sunday, I donated blood with the American Red Cross, and it was not as scary as I thought it was going to be. It was my first time ever donating blood, and yeah, I was terrified, but it was super easy, and it's a really, really good way to give back right now if you are able to donate blood. A lot of people are looking for blood in the hospitals right now, especially if your blood is positive with coronavirus antibodies, because you can be the way that somebody can help recover, because was that even English? I don't know, but you can help somebody recover with your blood if you have positive coronavirus antibodies, because then their bodies can get those antibodies and learn how to fight off the infection, and it can do a lot of good. It can also help go to vaccinations and cures with those antibodies. So if you're able to donate, please do. It is such a big difference. I'm going to talk about it in my vlog this week if you watch my YouTube channel, but there's so many people that need help right now. I mean, the Black Lives Matter movement, people who've lost their jobs, the theater industry shut down, restaurant workers need money, and it can be a little disheartening to not be able to help everybody. So if you're able to donate blood, that's a great way to help out, because it's free and you can replenish your blood. So obviously I know everybody can't donate. There's a lot of different factors that go into it, but if you're able, that would be super, super awesome. But that long tangent was to say that after I donated blood, I was driving home and my car started acting weird, and I didn't really think much of it because my car is very old. It's a 2004 and I've had it since I was 16. So I myself have had it for almost 10 years now, which is crazy. So yeah, nothing really happened that day. I got home safely. Everything was fine. And then today is Tuesday as I'm recording this. It's the day before this episode goes up. I was driving to work and I stopped at an intersection for like a red light, and my car completely stalled out in the middle of the road, and I basically had to turn my car off and turn it back on, and luckily I was literally right around the corner from my job, so I got there after a lot of prayers and a lot of crying, and I got there, and my friend took a look, and he said that he thinks it's the I am totally gonna butcher this, the idle air conditioner actuator, that's the word, idle air conditioner actuator, something like that. And it's not a bad repair. It's like $300, except my car is so old that I also need the catalytic converter replaced, and I also need my transmission replaced, which the catalytic converter is like $1,200 and the transmission is, I think, $2,000 or $3,000. So it's just not worth it. In my car, my windows don't work and my locks don't work. I can't open my trunk. My seatbelt doesn't work. My air conditioning doesn't work. So my car, it needs to be replaced. So essentially what I'm trying to say is tomorrow I'm going car shopping and I'm really, really excited. And I've had the longest day ever between my car stalling out in the middle of the road and just like me and my husband have been talking all night basically about what we wanted to do, because we're moving in February and I really didn't want to get a new car until we moved. But yeah, so we were talking through the options and we decided that it was the best option to just go ahead and get a new car. So I'm really excited. I've had the same car since I was 16. Like I said, I'm 24 now. So I am really, really excited. I don't even know what it's like to have a car with the windows that can roll down when I go through a drive-through. It's been years since my car was able to do that. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. And I wanted to just throw that out there because I've had a long day and my brain's a little fuzzy. But I'm really, really excited to be recording this podcast because this is like one of my favorite parts of my week is to just sit down and talk about something I love. So I'm really, really excited. And yeah, that was 7 minutes of me talking. But yes, anyway, let's go ahead and get on to our Disney news for the week. So the first piece of Disney news, really the only like official Disney news I have this week, is that Hong Kong Disneyland is going to be closing again on July 15th. So basically from what I've read, there were 52 new cases, and so Hong Kong Disneyland is going to be closing again. It says that the hotels will remain open with extra health and safety measures, and it's sad, but I don't even know what to say, to be honest, because Florida, Disney World is open and there's 15,000 cases a day. So I don't really know what to say. I genuinely don't. So anyway, yeah, Hong Kong Disneyland is closing again on July 15th. Yeah, that's the news. Of course, next is Disney World officially reopened on July 11th, which was last Saturday. And I'm sure you've probably seen pictures and videos of all the different safety measures. There's like new parades. They're not called parades, they're called cavalcades, which basically have a bunch of characters on floats rolling by. So essentially a parade. And they have Merida on a horse and Gaston's on a horse. And the Country Bear Jamboree people are up on the little balcony up on the Country Bear Jamboree, and they're having fun up there. And basically there's a bunch of characters that you can see from a distance. And yeah, I'm hearing mixed reviews about the parks being reopened. Everybody's saying that everything is pretty clean, but for some reason for the 3D rides, they still have the glasses like all just sitting there. So you can just touch and grab the glasses, which is pretty disgusting if somebody was sick and had it on their hands and touched it and then you're putting that on your eyes. Pretty terrifying to me. I don't know why they decided to do that instead of having people just hand out the goggles, but hey, I guess that's what's happening. So yes, the parks are reopened. Two big, I guess these are pop culture pieces of news that have happened since the parks reopened were Number one, a cast member picked up a duck for a TikTok. Why? I honestly could not tell you why. I've been thinking about recording this episode since it happened. This was like last week because she came for the cast member previews. And I genuinely, okay, here's the thing. Being a YouTuber, being on TikTok, being on Instagram, putting myself out there, it makes me realize how easy it is to get judged and for people to cancel you. And I definitely don't want to judge this particular girl. But I genuinely, this whole time, have been trying to think of a legitimate reason why she would need to pick up a Disney duck who is not hurt in any way. And I genuinely cannot think of one. So all I'm going to say, because I don't want to judge, but let's just respect Disney wildlife. Everybody knows Disney ducks are amazing. They're so adorable. And let's just not pick them up, okay? Let's be polite to our wildlife. So that's all I have to say about that. And then also, if you haven't seen the video, Merida was riding her horse. And what's the horse's name? Angus, I believe. She's riding her horse, and a balloon got wrapped around the horse's foot. And the horse started freaking out. Merida really gracefully handled the situation. She held on to that horse really tight, which makes a lot of sense since she's been riding in Scotland for years and years and years. So she probably has a lot of experience with horses. But if it was somebody else, it might have been a little hard. So I give Merida props because her friend definitely handled it with a lot of grace. And the handlers of the horse were definitely very helpful, but it was a very terrifying video. If you saw it, my life flashed before my eyes and I wasn't even on the horse, so I can only imagine how Merida was feeling. And yeah, if you want to go see it, I'm sure you can find it on any social media platform. Very spooky, but I'm glad that the situation was handled the way that it was. And I hope that nobody threw the balloon, because from my point of view, it looked like the balloon might have been thrown. It was kind of like a weird way that the balloon went out into the middle of the street. So I really hope that there was no like foul play and nobody was trying to be mean to the horse or to Merida, but you never know. So anyway, guys, that's all the Disney news I have for this week. All right, so getting into today's episode, we are going to be talking about, like I said before, how to beat the heat in the Disney parks. Basically, everything you need to know about going to the parks in the summertime. And I'm going to tell you from a native Floridian, we don't go in the summertime. Not anybody that I know, at least, because it is way too hot. But I do have some tips and tricks for you for going in the summertime, and hopefully that they help. I hope that they help if you are going or if you plan to go in future summers. So yeah, let's talk about this. So first I'm going to read your response. Sis, why can I not talk? Oh my gosh, I can't even say why can I not talk today. Okay, so the first response I got is from @damsel_in_DPS, and she said, taking it slow, misters and ride queues, and dark rides. Yes, totally agree. The misters and the ride queues are amazing, and the kids love them. Not my kids, I don't have those yet, but kids just chilling in the parks, they love those misters. They're super nice. Yes, I agree, taking it slow. Very, very helpful. And dark rides, yes, I'm going to be talking about that in the episode as well. Then I got a response from @YourTailoredExperience, and she said, go in October. Totally agree. Totally agree. I'm going to be talking about that as well. And then I got a response from @ZII826, and she said, go during winter. And again, totally agree. So we're going to be talking about all of that during this episode. So strap in, guys. Get yourself a cup of tea. If you're driving, keep your eyes on the road, and let's talk about this. So my first tip for you guys is absolutely to drink lots of water. Lots of water. So I used to work at theme parks, as I've told you before, and I cannot even tell you how many people I saw get heat stroke. I'm not even kidding. A lot of people ushered away in ambulances. A lot of people who came into my ice cream shop and were not able to move. And I saw a child go through heat stroke one time, and it was absolutely terrifying. And drinking water is the best possible way to prevent this. You should be drinking a lot of water. If you're going to the theme parks, I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on this, but I would say you should probably be drinking around 120 ounces the day before, the day of, and the day after to keep yourself hydrated, because you're going to be sweating and you're going to be losing a lot of water. So make sure you're drinking so much water. This is especially, I notice people from like areas that don't have heat or humidity like Florida does. So for example, the UK, a lot of European countries where it's rainy or where it's colder, the climate here is just so different. So I definitely suggest that you drink a lot of water and look up how much you should be drinking for your body weight, and probably add like an extra 20 ounces or so, just so that you can be super hydrated as you're losing all of that water while you're in the parks. I have a couple of tips specifically about drinking lots of water. You can bring a reusable water bottle with you. That is what I do to save a lot of waste. And not only saving waste, but also saving money, because bottles of water cost about $3, which is a lot of money to buy, especially if you're drinking like 5 or 6 of them a day. So definitely a reusable water bottle is great. There are drinking fountains all throughout the park, and there's also those little bottle things that you can fill. I don't know if they're open right now, to be honest, because of the coronavirus, but there definitely used to be. There probably will be again in the future. You can also get cups of water at any quick service location that has a soda fountain. So for example, when I worked at the ice cream parlor, we did not have them because we did not have a soda fountain. We literally had a soda fountain, like a soda dispenser that gave us just Coke and root beer for root beer floats. So we did not have water, and people would get so angry with us, but I swear we did not have water, like cups of water. But most quick service locations probably have it, and you can get them for free. Going along with drinking lots of water, my next tip is to avoid caffeine, specifically soda and coffee. And again, this is something that I notice people from other countries doing more, is like drinking Coke or drinking root beer rather than drinking water. It's okay to have a treat, of course, but if that's all you're drinking all day, that's a lot of sugar and a lot of caffeine you're putting in your body that your body is not going to be able to keep you hydrated with. So definitely be careful with your caffeine and your coffee and your soda and sugar. It all definitely impacts how your body is able to release heat, for sure. My next tip is to not wear black. So black obviously is a fabric color that absorbs a lot of heat. So I recommend not wearing black because it will definitely be very uncomfortable. And it is a very slimming color, which is very unfortunate because we all like to look at our best while we're in the parks, but try not to wear black because it is just going to absorb those sun rays, and it is not going to be comfortable. My next tip is to wear sunscreen. My absolute favorite sunscreen is called Sunbum, and you can get it at Target in Florida if you're there. But it's really good. It has moisturizers in it and a lot of vitamins, so it's really good for your skin. And I particularly like to put it on my face, my neck, and my shoulders because those are the areas I get the most burned in the theme parks. But it's going to be, your discretion if you want to do your arms, your legs. Sunscreen is just so important for so many different reasons. Like living in Florida and growing up in Florida, I know so many people who have had melanoma, which is like skin cancer spots. So it's really important to wear sunscreen, and it definitely helps prevent skin cancer. It prevents acne scars. It prevents so many different things. It also prevents you from getting a sunburn. Trust me, if you're on day 1 of your week-long Disney vacation, you get a raging sunburn, there's not going to be anything worse than going back the next day and your clothing touching you and rides touching you, and it's just going to be so uncomfortable. So definitely wear sunscreen, bring it with you, and reapply. My next tip is, so if you bring a bag, you can bring washcloths or wet wipes that are cold. So we used to do this when I used to play sports. The moms would make these for us. So you basically put like a washcloth in maybe like a Ziploc bag or a Tupperware with ice water. And then at some point during the day, you take it off and you basically wipe your face with the ice water. And it feels amazing and helps cool you down a lot. Or if you bring just a pack of wet wipes and leave it in your cooler so they're super, super cold with ice, that's going to feel amazing on your skin as well. It also helps to, get the sweat off, but also keep you cool. So I definitely recommend bringing washcloths or wet wipes, especially if you pack them in ice. My next tip is to pack cold fruits. So this goes along with the washcloths or wet wipes because the cold fruits are going to keep you hydrated. A lot of fruits have a lot of water in them, so that's really good. It's a healthy snack, and it's also going to just feel so good to have something nice and cold and refreshing while you're waiting in line or running to your next stop while you're in the parks. So I definitely would suggest packing some cold fruits, maybe in your cooler if you're bringing one. And I think that's a great tip for if you're with kids as well, because snacks can keep them distracted in line. Okay, my next tip is to find places to cool down, which is what at Damsel and DPS had said in her response. And I wrote down a couple places in particular, like the Carousel of Progress, the People Mover, the Tiki Room. These are great places that don't usually have a wait, and they're really good like if your child needs a nap or if you just need a place to relax and get out of the sun for a little bit. It's a really, really great place to go. Any of those that I mentioned, or like Damsel and DPS said, any dark ride. So I definitely suggest that. They're usually very cool. Or like the People Mover, even though it's outside, it's moving pretty fast. So you get the nice wind blowing, and it just feels really good during your hot day to just take a break and relax. So yes, that's my next tip. Next one is to bring a change of clothes for the water rides. And the reason I suggest that is because there's no worse feeling than getting off of a water ride in the summer heat of Florida and being wet and sticky, and then your clothes get wet and now you're like a hot wet. Ugh, gives me shivers. Just so uncomfortable. So I highly recommend bringing a change of clothes for water rides. That way you're not sitting in those hot, damp clothes, and you can get a fresh, cool pair of clothes on, and you're not going to feel like so weighed down throughout your day. The next one I have is, of course, agreeing with my other two responses, which is to not go May through August. First of all, the heat is unbearable. But second of all, it's just a time in the parks where it is so crowded. The summertime and spring break and winter break are, of course, the most popular times because that's when people are out of school and people want to come. The winter peak is definitely the worst for sure when it comes to waits and crowds. But summer, you get the heat combined with the crowds. Just not a good combination, my friend. So, that's my advice. If you can possibly reschedule your trip, is to not go May through August. My favorite times to go are like September through November because you're avoiding the crowds from the winter season. It's cooler. It's usually, especially in September, it is so dead in the parks because that's right when everybody's going back to school. So they're not really taking any trips or anything like that at that time. Another really good time is February. It's right after the parks have had their winter peak. It's my birthday, so the parks are having a huge celebration in honor of me. So it's a great time to go and celebrate the person recording this podcast. I just really enjoy going like February or beginning of March before spring break peak starts. That is my go-to times because you're just going to be so much more comfortable and you're not going to have to wait in such long lines. I wrote down a note here, but I don't understand what it says. Oh, okay. My next tip is plan to be in line. So what I mean by that is pack snacks, pack water, pack fans, other things of that nature that are going to help you while you are stuck outdoors in line to keep you distracted from the heat and the fact that you are stuck in line. Like that response said, the misters are incredible and amazing, and there's usually water fountains at some point throughout the queue. But I definitely suggest packing some water beforehand, making sure your water bottle's full before you get in a wait for like an hour or an hour and a half or even longer sometimes. Make sure you have some snacks so you're not, you're replenishing your body while your body is losing nutrients and stuff from sweating. And fans are really great as well. I love the ones at the park that you can get that squirt water. Those are so fun. But of course, you can also get them at like the dollar store or Walgreens before you go, a little bit cheaper. Okay, my next tip is for all the ladies or for all the guys who have long hair, and that is to wear your hair up and to put sunscreen on your neck. I tell this because from my own experience going to the parks, I wear my hair down and I think it's going to be so, so cute. And then within 10 minutes, I am so hot, I am so sweaty, and there's sweat just dripping down my neck. My hair is completely soaking wet. I know this is a disgusting visual I'm painting for you right now, but it is the worst feeling ever, and your hair is like sticking to your neck. Ugh, it is so, so uncomfortable. So I just recommend put your hair up in a really cute ponytail so you don't have to mess with it throughout the whole day. Put sunscreen on the back of your neck so that way you don't get burned from your neck being exposed to the sun. And also to bring extra hair ties. This is another one while I worked at the theme parks that I noticed a lot of girls would come in and ask me if I had rubber bands like in my register, because either their hair tie broke or they forgot one or they lost theirs or they threw it onto the mountain on the Everest ride. No, I'm just kidding. They didn't say that, but people really do that. So definitely bring extra hair ties with you if you have long hair. It will pay off for sure, I can assure you. And then you can be that cool girl in the bathroom who, when someone's like, oh my gosh, I just really wish I had a hair tie, you can be like, oh, hey, I have an extra one. Here you go, girl power. And then they're going to be so happy that you did that for them. So that's my next piece of advice. Okay, next is for anybody who has children. So strollers with covering. Okay, is there anything worse than a hot, miserable child? I know I've said, is there anything worse so many times in this episode? But for real, a hot, miserable child throwing a temper tantrum in the middle of Disney World, no thank you. So I definitely suggest a stroller with a covering on top. So many people get the strollers that don't have the covering or don't have like an umbrella on top, and the kids are just napping in the sun, losing so much water and losing so many nutrients and losing so many valuable nutrients that are just wasting away in their sweat while they're napping. And that's going to be the worst way for them to wake up, because they're going to feel so drained when they wake up. So please get a stroller with a covering so your child is not exposed to the sun for extended periods of time. Next, I have to say, for the summertime, this is going to be controversial. Ditch those Mickey ears and wear a hat. I know. I love Mickey ears too. But the hats are so good for the summer heat because they block your face from the sun. They give you a little bit of shade. And also, what I was saying earlier about your hair getting hot and sticky and wet, the hat just completely covers all that. So nobody will even see it. So I definitely suggest bringing a hat instead of Mickey ears, and I think that it will definitely pay off in the long run. Another tip is to wear sunglasses. So I never really understood this because I have hazel to brown eyes, so my eyes are never really sensitive in the sun, but my mom has like blue-green eyes, and whenever I was out with my mom, she was always wearing sunglasses. I was like, Mom, why are you wearing sunglasses? And she said that the sun hurt her eyes, and I never understood it because my eyes are dark, so I never understood. But now I know that sunglasses are so important for your eye care, And not only that, but when you are out there in the parks and you're staring into the sun, not like actually into the sun, but the sun is so bright and you're seeing the world around you and it's so bright. And then you walk into a room or a ride and you have that moment where you can't see anything. You know what I'm talking about? Because your eyes are adjusting to the new darkness. Let's avoid that and let's just wear some sunglasses and protect our eyeballs. And I think it will help you feel a lot cooler as well. And lastly, my last piece of advice, my biggest Disney pet peeve, perhaps ever, is do not wear flip-flops. Oh my dear Lord, I could go on a tangent about this for days. I hate flip-flops, okay? And here's the reason why. Working in the theme parks for 3 to 4 years, if you count starting at Disney and then ending at Universal, I saw so many people break their flip-flops. I couldn't even tell you how many. I genuinely could not even tell you how many. Flip-flops break. Not only do they break, but the sun, you are directly exposing your feet to the sun. Ouch, especially if you get a sunburn. Double ouch. And if you go on the water rides and you get your feet wet, they're going to be all slippery in the little sandals. Whereas like if you're wearing tennis shoes, usually it's just going to kind of fall off the edges, or at least in my lucky experience, it does. And I just genuinely hate the idea of flip-flops, especially if you're trying to stay cool in the parks. I recommend wearing sneakers. I know they're not like the coolest, but they definitely are going to protect your feet. They're going to protect your feet from the sun, and it's going to feel so good to not have broken flip-flops and to not have sunburned feet at the end of the day. So take my advice. Do not wear flip-flops. They are the devil of Disney World. Say no to flip-flops. Hashtag. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for putting up with me this episode. This has been a very long day, and I'm just really excited that I got to record this podcast because it honestly has been a breath of fresh air for me today. And wish me luck today as you are probably listening to this, because I am going to be going car shopping, and I am terrified to see what I'm going to be approved for and to see what I end up leaving with and to find out how much I'm going to be paying in car payments and new insurance and ad valorem taxes and everything else. And also I have to totally deck out my car with cool Disney stickers and some cool little air fresheners. So yeah, check out the gram for all the cool stuff I get for my new baby. I'm so excited. I already have the name of my new car picked out, but I'm not going to tell you guys, so you have to go check out my Instagram if you want to find out. And yeah, that's everything that I have for you guys today. Hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful week. Please stay safe. Please be healthy. Please be kind to cast members if you're going to the park. Just wear your mask. Don't start an argument about it with anybody at the parks, because I promise you that they do not make the rules. And yeah, thank you all so much for listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I'll see you next week with a new episode. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Mouse Club Podcast. To find us on Instagram, follow us at the Mouse Club Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/the Mouse Club Podcast, or on our website, themouseclubpodcast.com, to find all of our episodes, links to our social channels, and our YouTube channel, which will be coming soon. To follow our host, Marissa Potts, that's me. Check me out on YouTube, Marissa Potts, on TikTok at marissa.potts, on Instagram at Little Miss Mariss, MRS Mariss. Thanks so much for listening. See you next week. Bye.